Genie Entertainment presents the following.
This is a YouTube edit of The Final Wish. If you want to hear the full version, go to BitChute. And we're live. Hello, and welcome to The Final Wish. How's everybody doing? I see we got Luke Birch and Victoria in the chat and 3 elsewhere. So, it looks like we're doing pretty well. So, the premise of Final Wish, what I'm planning to do, I was kind of, over the last couple of weeks, I was kind of deciding whether I should continue to do podcasting or not, because I want to keep my practice up for radio, and, you know, let's face it, I kind of miss podcasting a little bit. I was doing that Genie for hire, but that was pretty much all a gag. Pretty much done to have fun, and I pretty much got over it when I really had nothing else to do. I mean, I was talking to my hand for an interview, so I figured, you know, may as well move that on because the joke's past now. So for Final Wish, what I plan is not to do wrestling. I kind of gotten past that a little bit. I mean, I pretty much want to watch that as a fan now, not so much as a person that's an expert, because let's face it, so many podcasts and that out there have to be experts on everything on wrestling at the moment, and I just want to be a fan again of wrestling. So that's pretty much out. And deciding between the two shows, because there's a Genie show and Final Wish. Well, the Genie show was mostly about wrestling, but I did want it to be a variety. I don't think it will ever be bigger than what it was. So I figured, why not go with Final Wish when, you know, we kind of had a lot of fun on the show with Final Wish. Kind of got a little wild. The show does get crazy. And I figured, you know, let's bring back Final Wish. I will bring some keynotes into it. Keynotes. What? I won't be uploading on iTunes because my SoundCloud has run out, and until I pay for it again, there will be no SoundCloud. So where am I going to be uploading this? Now, if you've been listening to my the Genie tunes, iTunes, what? I'm all over the place. Bear with me. If you've been listening to Genie tunes, pretty much what I do is I'll play it live. Well, recorded live, and I would upload it on the show reel. For this show and any other ones that I do that end up doing the talking, I'm going to be uploading on YouTube and BitChute. BitChute will have the full version of the show, so you get music and everything, whereas YouTube, well, they're a bunch of whingy cunts, aren't they? So you're going to get an edited version if you go to YouTube, which should be nothing different. Like, I'm not going to edit out the talking bits, so if I say fuck the duck, that's going to stay in the YouTube version, but you're just not going to hear the theme song. You're not going to hear the you never really hear the song beforehand, but like you're still going to get a heavily edited version of that one, and everything will cut out. And I feel with shows, once you add music to it, it adds a different element. And not saying to discourage people listening to YouTube, because let's face it, YouTube is an easier platform than BitChute. Just if you want the full version, you have to go to BitChute. Luke Birch was asking about a referral code. There's no referral code that I know of. Like, unless it's changed in the last year or so since I've joined, there's no referral code. Like, I could give you the link to it, but I'll give you that later. I'll probably do it on Twitter, so stay tuned for that. As far as call-ins go, now I don't have Discord because I don't think apparently it's not compatible on my laptop, so I can't use Discord. So I do have Skype, and I know people are at the moment not really particularly thrilled with Skype, but there is Skype. Now I will say this. We're still going to take calls and everything from everyone. It's just I'm going to limit it to 2 people at a time instead of a million. Because there would come to a point where I think we had 7 or 8 people on the show, and none of us could get a word in edgewise, and then I'll be coming to end the show, and I can't because there's 50 other people talking. And it's like, well, hey, we really got to end this because there's 10 minutes to go. Even though we've got 12 hours with Mixlr now, at the time when we started doing it, we didn't. So yeah. Skype calls will be happening. I'm not sure how long the show will go because at the same time I don't have a lot of things to say as far as well, really anything. Like pretty much with the final wish, I just pretty much as it goes type of show. That's pretty much always as it's always been, and how I want to keep it. So there's no real format, no real agenda. I may get pissed off about something and I may talk about it and I may not. So yeah, so if people want to call in, feel free to do so. One at a time. So if you someone's already called in, message me and I'll add you to the call. Because let's face it, I'm not a tech whiz. Anyway, so vaccinate your kids, you morons. Okay. Luke Birch wants to vaccinate kids, which I guess is not a bad thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I've got nothing else really to say. So if anyone wants to call in, feel free. You know my Skype call in. Yes. What could we discuss? Well, okay. As far as co-hosts, at the moment, well, because I never really talked to Klondike and Blades and Bobby Anthem or anything really about this. I just pretty much promoted this on Twitter. So far as I know, they're not coming on the show. That they're more than welcome. At the moment, like I'm pretty much trying to start on my own because when I left podcasting, it wasn't really on good. Nothing wrong with them. I didn't really. I kind of left everything high and dry, and since then, everyone's kind of moved on to do their thing. And it wouldn't be fair for me to go in and say, "Hey, we're back now, so you have to be here." They don't have to be here. And that's the reality. If they want to be here, they're more than welcome. Because Skype's always open with me. But we'll see how we go with that. Because I do miss doing shows with Klondike and Blades and Bobby Anthem, Mike as well. For a little time, a small amount of time we did a show with him. It was actually pretty cool. But we should see how we go. Because the last version of the show, I will say I didn't think I was particularly thrilled about when I was doing the Genie show when we did the revamp. And it was my call to do the revamp, by the way. So that's all on me, nothing on anybody else. I just didn't like the feel of it. Didn't like having to chase everybody, and I feel bad for putting people in positions what they shouldn't have. But at the same time, well, you're running the thing, so you have to pretty much want to keep on top of things. And when you're not on top of anything, when you have no control of anything, you're kind of screwed. And well, people say, hey, control freak. Well, when you're doing a show, and I'm guessing Luke Birch and everyone else will be finding out that like somebody has to take control of the show. Somebody has to make sure the levels are right, make sure your internet's working, make sure the timer's right. So you pretty much have to be a control freak doing it. Otherwise you get nowhere. But being on the final, I don't think I should. Look, but you're more than welcome to come on, man. Like, it's no issue with me, man. Who have we got? Emmanuel Ogaba. Oh, well. So, yes. Oh, no, I think I do need someone on here because I'm kind of dying. So, please, someone call in. Call in. Alright. Because Skype's open, call in. Feel free to call in. And give me 5 minutes, okay. So, what I might do is I might go to another break. And when we come back, we'll hopefully get Luke Birch on. So, we'll be back after this. Oh, and we're back. I didn't realize the song ended. To Victoria's point, I was open for suggestions, and I made it clear that they were allowed to make suggestions. I'm not that hard to talk to, but for some reason people did try to put me as that. I'm not that hard to talk to. I mean, it's pretty easy for me to take a suggestion. We kind of did, and if actually. I will say this: the Sky Genie show. I think I took more suggestions from Blades than anybody, because he was the one that got us on iTunes. Help us get on iTunes. So, Blades was a huge part of the Sky Genie show behind the scenes that people won't really know about. So, I'm always open for suggestions. But anyway, Luke Birch, if you're ready, then feel free. You probably are, and it's probably making a delay on my computer. I have to turn off my phone when people call. Alright. Luke Birch. I was seen 2 days ago. I don't know what that worked. The joys of Skype. Do you miss this part of the show? Not really. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. If in doubt, call Luke Birch. There we go. The Skype ringing sound. Hello, Luke Birch. Are you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here.
Alright.
I'm here.
Alright. So, how you been, Luke Birch?
Not too bad. Not too bad, actually.
Yeah, how do you feel about being on the first near of the finalish?
Honored.
You feel honoured. Great. So I don't know. See, I wanted to do this show again. I had no idea coming into it what I wanted to do. Because I'm trying to get the wrestling talk out. It's so hard not to, and because I don't want this to be a wrestling show again. I'm kind of done with the wrestling talk. I just want to get to the fucked up parts.
Hello?
I'm still here.
Hello?
I'm still here, Luke Birch.
I'm gonna try calling you back, okay?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. The joys of the internet. Still frozen. Okay. It's weird. It froze up on me, and then I see Luke Birch's face. It's creepy. It's the creepiest I've ever seen. Why is everything going so slow? Hold on. I don't know why I'm getting a bullshit signal. I'm wondering if it's because of the internet around here, because it's not exactly secure.
There we go. I can hear you now.
Alright, good. My laptop's going really slow, so I'm wondering if it's the internet around here. More internet issues. Because it's not exactly a secure line. So, yeah, if we start messing up, then there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah. Sorry for scaring you, Belle.
No, it wasn't you I guess it was you, but then, it's just the picture just, it's froze, like, oh shit. It's the evil Luke Birch.
Is my webcam working?
Yes, it's working. Oh, it's working.
So you can actually see my ugly ass face.
Oh no. Oh no, what are you doing? What are you doing to that? What are you doing to that object, Luke Birch?
Nothing.
I was trying to give the illusion that you're doing something fucked up there, Luke Birch. Thanks.
If you want me to do something fucked up, I can.
I'm sure you can.
Oh, I know I can.
But I know you can. Oh god. If people want to know what Luke Birch is doing, he's sticking things into his mouth again. I'm not sure if it's a penis. I'm not sure if it's the finger of a dead hooker, but it could be something.
The penis of a dead hooker.
The penis of a dead hooker. Okay. I have to question what your taste there is, Luke Birch. Which is nothing wrong with those
Yes.
things nowadays. It's acceptable in 2019. It's just, on the Sky Genie show, we're not PC, and I probably will make fun of you for it.
Yes, it does, sis. Yes, it does.
Long hair and good looks run in our family. Okay. I don't know. I don't have long hair, so
It's just a shame the second half of that skipped over me.
Well, actually, I do have a place where there's long hair, but I think that it is the show for it, I guess.
Definitely the show for it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Get your camera on.
I'm not doing that. I will not do live sex on the Skype there, Luke Birch. I'm sorry, I don't swing that way. The revelation of you and your what you like to do with hookers, but that's on you, man. Anyway, so how's the show going?
Great. Absolutely great.
Can you talk closer into the mic? What was that? That was great, was it?
Yeah, going great.
Going great. I don't know. What's the most fun part you've been doing about the show?
I don't know.
You don't know.
They're too much to decide from.
Too much. Okay, so you don't like the companionship of Sensible Sam?
As I said, there's too much to decide from. I've been enjoying the preparation just as much as.
Yeah, that's what I find most enjoyable about the stuff. Like, forget all the actual doing the show part. It's probably the show prep that you actually find doing a lot more fun, because like you have the idea in your head of the show you want to do. It doesn't exactly mean that's the show you're gonna do.
Yeah.
I came on this with the ideas of guns blazing, but then I kind of lost all that like in the first 5 minutes of the show. I was like that went completely out the window. Like yeah, because the fear I shouldn't say fear, but I guess it is. Like the thing is, like I haven't done this for a long time. Like I think the last time I did this was a couple of weeks ago, but full time, like I haven't done podcasting in nearly 6 months. So I'm coming into this Raw, and I'm probably better than I was. No, actually not. Better than I was when I first started, because I wouldn't got anything out of me when I first started. I probably wouldn't even done live. So like a 6-month hiatus from podcasting, and like I wasn't planning on doing podcasting again for a long time. It's just like now I thought, well, why not get back into it? See what we can get back out of it. If not, chop up shop and get the fuck out of it.
Yeah, we have missed you, pal.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I'm serious. You've been missed.
Yeah, I don't think the show's been clamoring for as what like you have obviously, but I don't think it's been as clamored about as what people think. Like, so it was just a fun show when people talk about, but it wasn't in high demand. It's just I decided, well, why not bring it back? And I bring back the Final Wish instead of actually the Sky Genie show, because you know I had more fun doing the Final Wish than I did.
Yeah,
the Sky Genie
and
show.
don't take this the wrong way, but I always had more fun listening to the Final Wish.
But like the only thing I didn't like about Final Wish was having about 50 people on. Let's add this person.
Yeah.
Let's add that person, and it wouldn't be just me doing it. It'd be Blades as well. It'd be Bobby.
Yeah.
Not so much Bobby Anthem. I don't think he really. I don't know if he added too many people, but me or Blades, and maybe it'd be Klondike or somebody else. Just hey, let's just add this person. Add this person. Sometimes we wouldn't even tell anybody we'd be adding someone in. They would just be in the group.
And it became a complete clusterfuck.
I think it came to at one point. I think everybody that was in the chat room was on. It's like there's 8 people in the chat room, and they're all on the show. So
I do remember that.
Like I think that's why I just ended like, well that's why I'm making the rule now. Like there's gonna be only like one other person that will be able to call in right now. Just because I don't want to overkill everybody with talking.
I hope you don't mind me stealing that role.
No, not at all. I think people have encouraged that rule because of it. I know Johnny Florida did. Like, if you notice, WNC, like, they still have a lot of people that call in. Like, but they'll still have a limit. As certain people what will call in. I think that's because of us. He's listened to us and gone, I'm not going to have that many people on. And you learn from that too. Like, you have 50 people on, and it's not until you hear it back. Like, I never would hear the Final Wishes back until one time I actually heard it back. And I'm like, God, nobody could get a word in edgewise. Like,
yeah. Let's be completely honest though. That one Final Wish where you had everyone on wasn't quite on episode 100 level.
I don't know. I think the Final Wish was better than episode 100. I don't remember what episode 100 actually. Episode 100 though, that was kind of planned though that way. Like episode 100 was planned to have a lot of people on the show because like it was meant to be a party atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's why I intended for that show. With Final Wishes were never actually planned to have 50 million people on. Was the Genie show that episode was. So there is a bit of difference there.
I need to wash this glass.
Well, now's your chance. Oh no, he's. Why are you putting your dick in your glass to? You're washing it out with your dick? What? No, I'm kidding.
It's the cleanest liquid I can find.
The cleanest.
All pure, baby, all pure.
So we have Papa Dave, Victoria, and I don't know who the Emmanuel one is.
He dropped out. He was only in for a couple of minutes.
Oh well. So this show took a dive quick. Papa Dave, if you want to call in, feel free.
Perhaps it's because you've been hyping it as Saturday all week.
I did, and I was originally, and then I'm like, because I was originally meant to go on the radio yesterday, and I wanted to have that day to myself, which is the reason why I was going to do it, because I wasn't going to have a chance to, but then I had the full day yesterday. So I'm like, oh well, let's just do it today. And I think also too, I'm not that appealing. I'm not that appealing, especially with a show that's not planned. It doesn't have a lot of planned shit. And if somebody took offense for what I said and took it, whatever, but oh well. And it had to be said. The show was a bit out of control, and as I said, I was just as much to blame as anybody. Like, yeah. The show got wild. You got 50 people. It can't go nothing but wild.
Yep.
Let's see. Like I turned my phone off just for the simple reason because because whenever I get Skype calls, it goes straight to my phone.
Yeah.
Like never to my computer for some reason. It goes straight to my phone.
Goes to both for me.
Yeah, it's weird. My shit is weird. Anyway, so I don't know if we'll go the full hour. Unless we get Papa Dave on, I don't think we'll go the full hour. Yeah. We go over the hour anyway. So I'll add him to the call. How's that? Dave, I'll add you to the call. If you want to call in, call in. If not, sit tight and, I don't know, do what you do best.
But if you come on, you'll get to enjoy me deep-throating a water bottle.
Encouraging. I'm just looking at my Skype thing. Klondike Bill chatted 4 months ago. Blades chatted 6 months ago. Get in the corner 7 months ago.
I'm not even sure what mine is. Pretty much, other than a couple of people, it's the exact same.
Yeah.
So.
Is Dave not on here? What the hell? Super Party. That'll be him.
Yeah, that's him. I actually don't think I have him as a contact on here for some strange reason. No, yes I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's the thing with Skype, because like everyone will change. Like since I've been on, everyone's changed their name on Skype. Everyone's done like all these changes. So yeah, I don't know what's happened in the last couple of months. I should probably call in Klondike, see if he wants to come on or not.
I haven't changed.
Oh, we know you haven't changed. Papa Dave.
Let the deep throating commence.
Oh my God, he's like Johnny Florida, just without the Peggy.
Well, it went so deep I fucking gagged. Fucking Jesus Christ! What is wrong with me?
What are you guys doing? What are you up to? What's going on here? What are all these shenanigans about, by the way?
Depends on what the shenanigans you're talking about there, Dave.
Well, I'm talking about the shenanigans right here in the immediate present now.
Okay, so I decided to bring back Final Wish, and it's going riveting as you can see. Well, and I decided to bring this back because I thought the Genie show had run its course, and I thought, well, I want to get back into podcasting, so I figured, I'll bring back Final Wish. I want to do something away from wrestling too, like, because I'm kind of like I'm not like I still watch wrestling, but I've kind of wanted enjoy it as a fan again. And I'm kind of over everyone having to be an expert. And I thought, well, if we want to lead by example, hey, you don't want to be an expert, why are you doing a wrestling podcast? So I decided, let's do Final Wish instead.
Dude, I can understand that. I get that 100%. As evidenced by what I do every Thursday night.
And I'll dive into it too. Like everyone's bringing up, like, not just AEW, but WWE as well, and all this other stuff. It's just, it's like I see it on Twitter, I see it on Facebook, I see it everywhere, where everybody has to be a fucking expert. And I watched it to enjoy the show. Like, I never watched it to, like, hey, this is better. I may doing Solomons page to piss people off, say, oh yeah, AEW is awesome, just to piss people off in the chat in Solomons group. But at the same time, like, people don't enjoy it anymore. And I understand that what you were trying to say all the time, Papa Dave. Like, nobody likes to sit and enjoy it anymore. They all have to be an expert.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just done.
I won't join the Solomonster page because, quite frankly, I've stopped watching wrestling. But from the few screenshots I've seen on Twitter, it sure as hell looks like you've been succeeding in pissing people off.
Yeah. Kind of a hobby. I think I pissed off Corbin.
Everybody pisses off Corbin.
But I'm blocked now.
Everybody gets blocked by... Hell, I've been blocked by Mike.
Because he keeps bringing up all this stupid shit. Like, he'll bring up this, Kevin, like, he'll bring up the stuff about how great Kevin Nash was, and, like, yes, Kevin Nash wasn't the worst draw. So I'll make fun of Kevin Nash to him, and he starts getting all defensive about it. So that, instead of, like, discouraging me to do it, I want to do it more.
Well, listen, I understand that. I do. That's how we just treat Mike that way.
And then he posts this stuff. One thing he actually posted was about I think it was might have been on your show, where he posted something about NWO Wolfpack. It's something they said on like they'll get listing of all these things what they want and don't want in when they watch wrestling. And I pointed out that it had double meanings in that because they wanted something, but wanting something else. But you can't have the same thing. Like like they're wanting fans to participate in the show, but they don't want to make a chance. Like, well, you can't have that both ways. And like he got shitty about that because like I brought up a point and he didn't have a rebuttal to it.
Well,
I think Mish backed me up on that one too. And then it's like, then he got the shits with it.
Yeah, that's our Mike. That's our Mike.
Anyway, but besides that, like I think the only one that's been fair as a podcaster to wrestling or overall has been Soul Monster. I don't think any other podcaster like really. Including myself, I don't think any other podcaster has been fair to wrestling. I think Soul Monster is the only one has been.
Now that you've got Dave in, just give me 2 minutes and I'll call myself back in, okay?
Okay.
And, you know, here's my curiosity with listening to, like, I will occasionally now tune into the Solid Monster podcast. You know, Jason's been doing what he's been doing for a long time. And, you know, he's at that point where he doesn't have to impress anybody. He can like what he wants, dislike what he wants, express his opinion, and not. And to say it's a loyal fan base kind of cheapens the fan base. It's more than that. He has what I guess a trusted fan base, people that trust his word. And you know, if you're going to do anything, I think in anything, if you're going to review movies, talk about porn, or do a wrestling podcast, you know, best thing that you can do is just engender some trust. That what what you're saying isn't bullshit and half-assed truth, and that you know what you're saying, that you know what you're talking about, and especially if you're not in the business, that you're speaking like a fan.
Exactly.
And you said not an expert.
Absolutely not. And like when we did the show, and I did it with the sole purpose, like I never want to be a person. Hey, we're reporting news. We're not reporting news. We're giving an opinion on the news out there. We're not saying, well, this is definitely what happened. We're giving an opinion. And it would never be to the point where we're experts. It's what we think as fans. And the thing I'm seeing right now, and I'm seeing with a lot with, and I don't mean to attack them specifically, but a lot with Wrestling Soup, a lot with Suplex City Limits and THT, like love those shows to death. At the same time, like. I don't like people that try to push an agenda that, like, may or may not be true. And it's okay. I know they're in this feud and feud with like Cody and the Bucks, but at the same time, like, they're not exactly innocent in this either.
Well, no, not at all. I mean, it always takes two. You know, that's we often forget that. We you know, if we happen to be on the crew that's on one side and they're over there, well then you know, we have a perspective of we're just, you know, for the people that we're on their side, you know, we're just staring at their asses. We're looking at them from behind and then trying to look ahead to see who's on the other side. And you know, the common ground can never be found that way. A common purpose and a common goal. You know, what would, you know, where's the show that's saying what would make AEW successful? What can I do as a fan to push a good wrestling show? What can I do as a fan to encourage them to you know, listen to the angels of their better natures?
If honestly, if we're going to go wrestling talk, I'll go wrestling talk. But if anything, if there's something, in my opinion, AEW is going to do, not listen to anybody, because if you're going to be success, if even this show, like, listen to people for advice, okay. But if you got your ideas set on something, it's up to you to succeed or fail. Like, if they're going to succeed, or if they're pushing AEW, great. It's theirs to fuck up, and I don't think they should be taking advice from anybody, because what would they know obviously what's out there. Maybe they have an idea of what's out there, and we don't. We're fans looking into it, speculating. Well, this isn't going to succeed because we've seen what's happened in the past. Well, that's great for what happened in the past, but that doesn't mean that will happen now. And people say, well, what do you predict with AEW? What's going to happen? I don't know, because at the same time, all the factors around it. Every other company had a backing behind it, but they didn't have somebody that would invest the amount of money that the Jaguar guys are apparently investing in. So there's something that says to me, hey, well, this isn't a big deal. This isn't a small deal. And what's also interesting, you are hearing going around, and it's not news reports. This guy wants to leave, that guy wants to leave, this and that, and to the point WWE is doubling down on these guys. Well, if you leave, we're going to freeze your contract, or we're going we're going to not pay you. We're going to give you all, if you stay with us, we're going to give you all this push. So the fact that WWE is doubling down on this company tells me that there's something to this AEW. Like that, and the fact, and I also think I don't know if they have a TV deal or not.
Jesus Christ, you're saying they're scared of the fucking marks.
I don't know if they have a TV deal or not, but the fact that they've got Chris Jericho signed, I don't think he would be signed to that company if there wasn't something in play.
Oh, well, I mean, just by the virtue of the fact that the people that they have behind them, their backers, as there are euphemistically called their money marks, actually have money. I mean, these aren't guys that are spinning a story. These guys actually have a checkbook, and their checking accounts are full. They have plenty of cash. Now, you know, dude, here I can give you a theory. I have a theory about this AEW backlash and the animosity, but it's only a theory. I have nothing concrete or tangible to show you that, oh, yeah, this is it. But what I see a lot is a lot of guys, say, age 28 to 40, still experiencing the WWF/WWE hangover. 2001, the only two major national television companies in wrestling simply disappear. And 10 million people go bye-bye. But the people that stuck with it, you know, the several million that stuck with WWE, and they were really thrilled by it because why? Well, WWE won. In this quote-unquote Monday Night War, WWE came out on top, and for so long they were the only game in town. And you can say what you want about TNA and Impact and all that. They were never that significant. Not in the marketplace anyway. Never. I'm getting the vacuum cleaner already? Already?
Huh?
I said I'm getting the vacuum cleaner already?
There's a vacuum cleaner?
Well, I don't know what that is.
There's something in the background.
It was very strange. Anyway,
I might have, as I said, I might have bad internet because it's not a secure line, but yeah.
It was this very bizarre noise.
Yeah, to me it sounded like a motorcycle passing or something.
Kinda, yeah, something like that.
I'm near a intersection, so like I'm in the city. So
okay. Well, there you go then.
City.
So and I don't have a proper microphone, so everything that will I'm going off my laptop mic, so everything that will happen around me will go straight into it. So
okay, yeah,
it picks up surroundings, people. So nothing I can do about that. But anyway,
it happens, dude. It happens. We do the best we can with the tools that we're given. Anyway, and you know, there's been this WWE hangover for the last 18 years now. WWE won, you know, and especially the guys in the Northeast, in the North and the Upper Midwest. You know, all they knew from the 80s on was Vince McMahon and the WWF. That's all they knew. That's what was on their televisions. That's all they knew. And when Vince won, it was like, hey, our team won. And we've been going on this hey, our team won for 18, 19 years now. And the thing is, the show's gotten progressively worse. The crowds have dwindled over time to record lows. But they're hanging on, by God, they're hanging on tooth and nail to WWE because they're still the big guns, and they're still making all the money.
Right. And one thing about that, because like the argument that comes up with this, they're going on with StarCast as well, is that this is all money, Mark. This is all what's the word Wookie likes to use? Cash grab. Well, to me, all of wrestling's always been a cash grab. Go back to the 80s, with the you could probably say in Houston, what was that all not about making money?
Well, it was exactly about making money. You
And-
know, the promoter I grew up with was a very wealthy man because of wrestling.
Right, and like there's people will say that, well, this is a bad thing. It's like, well, no, it's not, because they're trying to make money in a business where people have said that you cannot make money in, because wrestling for a long time was not profitable for a long time. Come 2000, I'd say 2015, when things started picking up a little bit. Like people, like you didn't have to be in WWE to make a 6-figure year. Like you don't have to be in WWE anymore to do that. And I think, and people will say, well, this is going to dry up the indies. I don't think so. I think the indies are always going to be there, because for the simple fact, there's always going to be some flash in the pan that will get over. And to the point where you have four different companies between WWE, New Japan, Ring of Honor, and AEW. They're all going to bid for this person, so that talent is going to make a lot more money than he would have back maybe 10 years ago, where this guy would have got big on the indie scene. He probably would have made a couple $100, then maybe got signed to the WWE once that run was over, and get put onto the main roster and mean absolutely nothing. Hey, we heard all this buzz about this guy. Why wasn't this guy signed? Well, there was only one company in town. Now that you got like 4 different companies about, now it's a bit more of a thing, because Ring of Honor have now stepped up their game. They're stepping up their game and trying to sign people. Like I could see this being like more beneficial for the wrestlers. They can make more money now.
And the good thing is, because of the independent environment of the last 10 years, there's a lot more guys and gals to sign, and talented guys and gals. Because of the proliferation of the indies, and I've talked with Johnny about this over the last 8, 10, 12 years. You know, that right now, those people that have been working their ways and working their asses off on weekends, you know, those are the guys that are starting to get picked up by AEW. And you're seeing it with WWE. They've been doing it, you know, in spits and spurts over the last few years, but now they're kind of kicking it up. They're letting some guys go, putting some guys on, and you know, right now is a very interesting time. I'm not going to say it's a good time for professional wrestling, but it's really interesting. And 2019 is going to tell us a lot about how powerful WWE really is, versus how powerful somebody with talent and money can go up against WWE.
I think the big factor will be New Japan. Like, New Japan is going to be a big key this year. Are they going to stick with Ring of Honor, or are they going to go with AEW after a while? Because there is friction between AEW and New Japan at the moment because of Kenny Omega. Because the plans for Kenny Omega was for him to be the IWGP champion with instead of Jay White, like throughout that time. And when he left, that threw a wrench in their plans, so they ended up going with Jay White as Kenny Omega. New Japan's having this New York show. I think will be a test to see if New Japan will stick with Ring of Honor or not after this, because I can see this going sour, because they did sell out. Well, they did sell out the Madison Square Garden. When they did it, it was because the Young Bucks and Cody and Kenny Omega were all a part of it. Now that these guys have left that, how does that change the dynamic of that show? Because everything would have to change for that. People are expecting Bullet Club and the Elite, but they don't have the Elite anymore. So I'm wondering if maybe something happens down the ways where these guys work with Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor is going to be suffering through this. I don't see why they don't work with AEW.
You know, I would like to see, and New Japan is the only real, you know, big promotion in Japan right now. You know, they command most of the big shows, the bigger television. You know, New Japan, when I was a younger man, it was, you'd see people from New Japan and All Japan in AWA, or they'd show up in Houston, or they would show up in the Carolinas, or you'd see somebody passing through New York. And this is what I'd like to see now. I'd like to see New Japan do more of a role like that, where their guys are going to both places. And there's none of this bizarre fucking affiliation. Oh, we've got to sign a contract and make a deal. Why don't you just send some of your best guys to some of the best shows? I guarantee you they'll book them. I guarantee you, because of television, they'll get booked and they'll get a prominent spot. And you know, let's give the American wrestling fan and the wrestling fan at large a real variety, a real choice in what do we want to watch as far as our wrestling time is concerned. Do we want to watch a company that produces a self-contained, boxed-in television show, or do we want to watch a wrestling company that's a little broader and a little more open to having some new guys come in and some new styles and some new ideas? Because right now, WWE is not practicing any of that. There are no new guys, new styles, new ideas. It's the same cookie-cutter thing week after week after week.
And with AEW, you'll notice this too. Like, there's probably a handful of people in that company that you may have heard about. I'll say heard about, not so much know. And the rest of the talent roster are unknowns, because AEW, when I think they're trying to do is establish a group of new guys. What TNA did, like TNA was never going to be the big fish, but that. I can't say they didn't have a little bit of impact in the business, because
unintended.
Look at WWE now. Half their main event roster are former TNA guys. Like they got AJ Styles, they got Bobby Roode, they got Samoa Joe. I wouldn't count Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Jarrett just came back. Like and the people that they replaced Arn Anderson with as a producer backstage, like former TNA guys. So, like, I can't say that they have not had an impact in the business, because to say they haven't would be wrong.
Well, and absolutely they've had an impact. But I think their impact is strictly in their existence. They are WWE, and they're still here, and they're still producing television, and they can still draw a couple of million people to it every week. And as long as they're able to do that, I think they're satisfied. And as long as they're just living on satisfaction and there's no ambition behind it, then you know, you're going to continue to see more of the same thing week after week after week. Dude, I would challenge anybody. Go listen to the last 2 Jim Cornette Experience shows and listen to him review Raw. Some of the best fucking podcasting I have ever heard in my life.
I heard that. I actually listened to that the other day, and it was actually the funniest thing I ever heard, because he's watching this show. I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
Dude, it was like, you know, here's a guy who's been, you know, producing, and I mean, he actually has done it all.
He used to write for that show. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's worked for them, and he knows Vince. He admits it. He says a lot of the tricks I learned in production, I learned from people in the WWE. My television tricks, booking tricks. He freely admits a lot of that stuff I got from Vince. So, you know, there's no animosity there. He's just simply, as a promoter, a booker, a guy who's managed and been not really a professional wrestler, but's been involved in matches for many, many, many years. You know, to me, he carries a little weight. If he's watching something and I mean, start to finish, he was just so very on point with everything, and he just, how confused he was, and it's wonderful. Dude, anybody gets a chance, man, they just need to listen to that. That it's great. And it explains a lot about the current quote-unquote product.
Well, it has big-time issues, that's for sure.
No kidding.
like as I said, I think I remember. Don't know if it's you and Mish that came on that one time. I said I watched SummerSlam 2001.
Mm-hmm.
That whole show, like, what was cool about that show, like, that was very underrated. I thought it was very underrated. The show felt like a music video. Like you go onto you don't have Rage, but like you go onto the music shows, and you have all that like you have the film clips to songs. Like that's pretty much what WWE felt like. It felt like a rock concert when I used to watch it. It had the rock on it, and the rock in general had people eating out of the palm of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point I said, this guy has the best psychology of anybody in the business. He's not the best wrestler, but he has the best psychology for the simple reason he could have you doing anything. Look at WWE now. Tell me anybody on that roster that could do that right now, besides Kevin Owens.
I don't think Kevin Owens could do it.
I have seen that dude do it. Like prior to WWE, that guy had you eating out of his hand. Like since he's been in WWE, well, WWE script everything. Well, they script The Rock too, but not as much as they do now. Like this, like whenever you see people that they say, "Oh, this guy doesn't get over it," and that no one cheers or anything. Well, they kind of don't really let them. They make it over to a certain point, and unless it's WWE scripting them every single segment, they don't want to push it because they're not behind it. It's getting over organically, but it's not there organically. Like they expect things to get over overnight, and when it does it, they'll just shove it off to the side and say, "Well, that didn't work. Next."
Well, and you hear the stories about how many people they just got sitting around in the back. So, I mean, they got plenty of people to move into, if this ain't working, fine, no problem. We got somebody else to fill this 10 minutes.
Right.
And everything seems to be a filler of time. Here again, Cornette's co-host Brian Last said something that really stuck with me. He says, "Are you familiar with? Back in the old days, studio wrestling, the last match was always an expiration of time match. That means it went till somebody won or the show ended. So the show could end with the match still going on." And he said that every match, everything they do on Raw and SmackDown is just a perpetual expiration of time, except all they have is time.
Yeah.
So it's this self-involved circle where the more they do this, the more they have to do it, and nobody is willing to jump off the merry-go-round for a minute and say, "Hey, maybe we ought to do something different."
An idea I had for a while, I think could work. Have the last hour as like a post-game show. Instead of doing your promos on the first or second hour, have that mostly wrestling matches. Have that third hour as that like what they had with Talking Smack. If you remember Talking Smack, that show got off huge. Like it did wonders for the Miz. Like, why not have people like go there instead of like coming out for promos? They in the back and say, like, there they could further a storyline. Say if it's Roman Reigns coming back to face Seth Rollins, like you could have it extended there for the post game show. And maybe throughout the show, like with the wrestling, like this is something Roman Reigns said last week. So if you missed the last hour. This what happened in the second hour. Hopefully, they don't replay it a million times. Like, but focus more on the matches instead of on the storyline aspect. Because I think that's a big issue. I mean, I'm not watching football to watch somebody do fucking promos.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm watching football for football, so why shouldn't I be watching wrestling for wrestling? And that's why I look at all these companies outside of WWE, and then people will shit on these shows. Will go, well, they're not as good as production. They're not they're not like WWE, but then at the same time, they're giving you actual. It's giving you what you pay to see is actual matches, not shit to see, not just shit to see like once a week. You see like 5 matches on the show. People are coming out on the sticker. I'm going to face Brock Lesnar. I'm gonna punch him in the face. I talk like a robot because I'm semi-retarded. Like I can't stand that shit every week.
Well, and dude, it's understandable. You know, if you've ever been exposed to the good stuff, then when you look at that, you go, which, I mean, that's it. I can't say the exact reason, but one of the reasons that I don't watch anymore. I can't. I don't have. At the end of that 3 hours, man, I've lost the will to live.
I mean, I like Japan's format, like what they do, and I know you're not a big New Japan fan, but what they did, like they'll have the heap of matches, but they'll further the storylines after the matches. So when Tanahashi beats Okada, like the next challenger will come out and be, well, I'm the one that's got to come the face you next. It will extend from that, and they'll have press conferences after it, to the point like. Well, that's where they further the storylines is on the press conferences. Like I think adopting something like that. I hope AEW adopts something like that, because that would be definitely a different style than what you would see on what you see currently on TV. Because the one thing you don't want to do is copy WWE, and the one thing I'll be having is less talking, probably no talking if that's the case. Like. Why not go on, like, everyone has their phones and Twitter and Facebook nowadays. Why can't you use your social media to further your storyline instead of the wrestling on TV? I mean, that's all they come to see is the wrestling on TV.
Well, and I'll reach back, and as I said last time, I'm going to reach back into hallowed antiquity for a minute. The wrestling television I grew up with was 90 minutes long. And there weren't interviews throughout the show because in Houston, our show was taped actually at the wrestling at the Coliseum. So what you got were, usually in the 90 minutes, you got 4 matches. And in the middle, between the matches, you got a 10-minute interview segment where Paul Bosch stood on this little stage that he had built in the Coliseum. And whoever was happened to be in an angle or was needing to push a storyline forward, they'd come, they'd give you 3 or 4 minutes. Paul Bosch would move the next guy in.
Oh, and the next thing too.
And that was for 10 minutes. And it went like this.
One thing,
it was right back to wrestling.
One thing I got to throw in too. Fucking look at me. When you're doing a promo, fucking look at me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
None of this looking at the in space shit. Look at me. Tell me what you're going to do. Tell me why you need my support to beat that evil Russian fucker. Tell me why that guy. Why I've got to help you beat this guy. Don't tell like me expecting me to look into the space somewhere because I'm not there. I'm here. Look at me. Like.
Dude, they have this poor, on WWE TV, there's this poor little girl that they have backstage. I think her name is Charlie.
And they make her say the most stupid shit.
And she always, perpetually, I'll see a video of her. Somebody will post something on Twitter or on Facebook, one of the couple of wrestling groups I follow on Facebook. And she's always got this deer in the headlights. I know I'm here, but I don't know why I'm here look on her face. And it's irritating. And they keep letting her do it. They just maybe they think she's going to get better. She's not getting better.
And you hear it too. Like I hear it every week. Like I listen to I listen to the Observer, obviously, but I like listening to the like the retro stuff they do. Like, but obviously I'll listen to other stuff here and there. and Brian Alvarez will bring up all the time. Like she'll talk about you hit an RKO. How do you feel about this after hitting an RKO?
I know, man.
That's the thing. That's the thing I was trying to push when I was doing the Sky Genie for Hire shit. Like don't insult people. That's insulting people. That's the stupid, most robotic thing I ever heard. Like.
I just, it's hard to explain. As a fan of wrestling for as many years as I've been a fan, I look at it and it's just unexplainable. I don't get it.
But you look at her too, and she's reading it. It's a teleprompter. It's not her saying it. Like I don't put her fault in it. I think it's the teleprompter. Like what's written there. It's simple, basic. And like Mean Gene, you watch Mean Gene. He threw his own spin onto a lot of questions. He made everything a lot different. If somebody couldn't talk, he emphasis. He tried to hide that and emphasize. Well, this guy's a monster. This guy could break coconuts with his hands or stuff like that. And this is what Mean Gene Okerlund would do. And you look at the like they give all these tributes, and you look at this Dasha or Charlie. Like apparently they both look the same, but like you see these announcers WWE, like they don't have a brain in their freaking head. Like give me some personality. Like, at least Kevin Kelly when he was doing it, like you listen to him with The Rock, you would have a personality with it. The coach would have a personality with The Rock, or chemistry if that's fair to say. But
yeah.
Like just little simple shit.
Well, dude, in pro rock, and going back to I think one of our original points on this, with AEW, there's a world of opportunity there, a world of opportunity, and all we've heard so far is Cody, the Bucks, and the Money Marks. That's been the story for the last 6 months. Evil Cody, the selfish Bucks, and those rich Money Marks. They're soaking all of us dry. Stand up, rebel against it. I don't know.
Here's a suggestion: don't buy a shirt. I mean, I haven't bought a shirt.
Well, you go. I haven't either. I haven't gotten a shirt for the grand. I don't wear wrestling T-shirts, but I haven't got shirts for the grand.
I would buy one and I would wear it. Like I have no issues wearing wrestling shirts around anywhere. Like I wore a CM Punk shirt for a little while, the Best in the World one, and like I have no fear in wearing shirts. Like it's just like I don't like paying a shitload of money for it, and that's the thing.
Well, in my personal circumstances, I'm a big old boy. When I go out in public, I like wearing a nice button-up shirt. T-shirts just don't flatter my middle like they used to.
I've always been on the metal scene, so I think a T-shirt is a uniform, a band shirt anyway.
Well, now see, and you're kind of right, but for those of us that didn't wear T-shirts, now I used to have a black denim vest way back in the day that I would put, and I don't know if you remember pins and patches.
No.
When you see pins and patches for that. Vest. And we would, I had a Motorhead patch, I had an AC/DC patch, I had. And I don't know where I got it.
This is like the jacket that Dolph Ziggler was wearing for a while, didn't he? He was wearing all the rock star. You'd wear the rock jacket, he'd have all things pinned to it.
Yeah.
I know what you mean now. Like Little Monsters, like
the 70s. That was a big thing.
Yeah, I remember Little Monsters. That was like an old movie back in the day, and it was the Maurice guy had this jacket. That's pretty much what it was. Made up of all bands and shit.
Yeah, and you'd have you'd have band patches, and you'd have just if you find some weird like patches or little buttons or pins, you just like stick it on. Nobody was trying to conform to anybody else. You just liked what you liked, and that was your way of giving the shout out, giving the support. Yeah, I listen to those guys. I got their patch on my vest.
I'll also do that now. Like I have no fear if I could. I have no fear in doing that now.
Well, and you shouldn't. If you like somebody, you like somebody, man. And if you're digging what they do, why the hell not appreciate what they do with a T-shirt or a patch or a vest or a hat or anything? Hell, carry a mug around with their name on it.
Yeah, the only time I don't wear shirts is when they have people's faces on them. That gets a bit like if it's a wrestler's face on it, then I'll probably wouldn't shy away from that. Like besides that, like if it has writing on it, like I'm wearing an asshole T-shirt right now. I mean
okay.
a TNA shirt, mind you. You remember Mr. Kennedy or Mr. Anderson?
Yes, very well.
Okay. In TNA, he had a gimmick where he referred to himself as an asshole, which is why I refer to myself as an asshole because of that gimmick. I thought that was one of the best gimmicks ever, and I don't know why TNA didn't make him the top of the company at that point. For that, because that was a big hit, and I'm thinking, well, why? That's a big thing with TNA. I was like, why didn't you push this guy for as a main event? Like that was an easy shirt to sell. Like, and they wouldn't push, but anyway, but yeah, so that was the big craze. So I bought that shirt. I think I bought it off eBay, and I've been wearing it ever since. It just has an asterisk in ass with the S's, and that's pretty much it. Asshole. And I wear it around everywhere. Like I think I wore it to a church thing once. Did I like half the time I don't even realize I have it on. Like there'll be times I'll be walking down the street and I'll have a shirt that have the shirt on, and it's like, oh yeah, buddy, great shirt. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, okay.
Well, now here's my question: did the folks at church say anything?
No, not really. I think some of them knew me, so at that stage, like they kind of know I'm not afraid to. Like I don't swear normally in general. And if I'm wearing a shirt, I'm just wearing a shirt just because it was in the drawer. It was on top of the drawer, and it was there. That's the other reason I'm wearing the shirt, and they kind of knew that of me. So, like, they know I'm not afraid to say fuck. So,
well, then that's good, man. That's good.
It's actually good though, because if they deny it, they're denying God, and that's a sin. Boom.
There you go. There you go.
And I'd press that on them if they tried.
I can dig that.
Well, it's would you deny someone God because would you kick someone out of a church for wearing a shirt that says "fuck you" on it?
No, me no. I wouldn't.
No. Good.
No.
Because like if you did, you'd be denying somebody God, and that's if you read the Bible, that when you deny someone God in any circumstances, it's a sin.
Makes sense to me.
Like I think the Bible's like I know you're religious in that, but I think the whole Bible's fiction, like with a meaning. Like my opinion is it's with a meaning. That's my opinion of the Bible. So like I don't believe any of it's actually happened. But then I won't try and discourage anybody. Then I sound cocky with it. But it's all for a meaning and a truthful meaning. But that's just me.
Well, and there's a whole lot of things that can be classic, and the Bible can be also, especially I guess the King James is classified as great literature because of the flourishy, flowery, very of the time way the King James Bible was written, with the these and the thous and the whilst we do this and the, whilst we do that. It has a very literary feel, but it's just a book that tells a whole bunch of different stories that are trying to lead the reader to a single idea.
But it does have historical facts in it, though. There's a other element to it as well, as stories. Stories are stories because they're told to people. And I believe there was somebody in the church who actually said this to me, that the Old Testament that they said is entirely fiction because of the timeline of it. Nobody could read or write at a certain point. So how else would they have known unless it was stories that were told to them?
Mm-hmm.
So Adam and Eve weren't actually Adam and Eve. It's just names out of a book because that's more that's probably more known to the modern day you and me. For all we know, it could be Lucifer and Luke Birch.
Well, there is a book of Luke in the Bible.
I just wanted to get Luke Birch to see what he would say and do if I just mentioned his name.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're the one that fucked us with this.
See, now there's your podcast right there. Luke Birch reading selected passages from the book of Luke. There's your podcast.
Luke Birch reading the Bible.
Luke Birch reading the book of Luke. There you go.
Pass.
In the book of Luke, Luke Birch went and picked up his dildo thing and stuck it in his mouth. Jesus wasn't too happy about this, so he sent him to burn in hell.
Whilst I swithered my penis in the glass.
Poor guy.
Oh, boys.
I have missed you, Sky.
Oh, boys.
I have missed you.
Well, I said I was bringing fucked up back, and, why not pick on religion? I don't know, I have to think of something fucked about, especially if no one's listening in the chat room. I gotta think of something, right?
That's it. And then, dude, I'm about to bail anyway. I just got a message. The grandkids are on their way, so.
Yeah, I'm about to wrap up too.
I'm about to be invaded.
I wasn't actually planning to go this long. I just went with it.
I know, dude. I'm glad I got a chance to catch up with you.
Yeah, for sure. When did I speak with you last, anyway?
Dude, well, you were on the show a couple weeks ago? There were 4 or 5 of us there, and it was back and forth. I mean, just me and you, for 30 minutes, chopping it up about whatever.
Yeah, I think the last time you were on the Final Wish was probably the last one we had.
I think so.
That was in about June, July, I think. Well,
the weather was still warm, as a matter of fact. Yes.
I thought you finished in November.
The Sky Genie show did. If you remember, we stopped doing this Final Wish for a long time.
Yeah, I would notice that Sky would post the Sky Genie show and do the Sky Genie show.
That was because I was being lazy too with the Final Wishes.
And no Final Wish, so I said, okay, well, he just just a production decision. He's not doing the Final Wish for a while.
When I stopped,
we all have to make them.
When I stopped doing it was with the intention of Blades taking over the host, and that never happened. I could never get a hold of Blades after that to really form a plan, and so we just stopped. It just became critically difficult to get a hold of Blades, and I'm just, well, what do I do?
How often will this be? Weekly, fortnightly, whenever you decide?
Well, I'm hoping to do it. I'm trying to get back into doing it weekly. But it all depends because I want to try and get back. Trying to get back to where we were, but then at the same time, I don't know. I want to get back into doing weekly podcasting, but I don't want to be confided to it either.
Mm-hmm.
So like it probably will be on the Saturday as normal, because I'm with my week now, because I do TAFE again, so that's 3 days of the week. I do get Thursday off, but then I'm preparing for radio. Then I actually do recording on radio on Friday, so I get Saturday and Sunday off, and pretty much I think, well, if I take the Saturday off, I'll be a bit more refreshed to do this to do the final wish instead of going straight into it. It's just that yesterday, the studio was down at they have two studios. They have 1 and 2. One's live and one's 2's recorded. And when 2's down, there's nothing you can do. So I pretty much had the day off yesterday.
It may be tough for me to listen in on a few Saturdays when I'm on with Mike, but
see, I want to do this.
I'll listen in for all others.
See, I was thinking of doing these at a 9:30 time slot as well, but then we'll see how we go with that. Because if people aren't listening in, then I'm not going to do it that late.
And I've got a question. And since I've got you guys here, and you're obviously the fellows that know the answer to this, I'm pretty sure I know, but I want to get confirmation, because I've just never asked anybody of the British or British ancestry persuasion. This question is a confirmation. A fortnight, is that 2 weeks?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. I never asked.
Well, now you have.
I heard Luke say a fortnight, and I went, I think he means 2 weeks. He does mean, okay. But, well, hell, I've got these guys here. Let me ask them.
Yeah, I thought the US had that as well, but it must be more the northern part.
I think you'll see it more up north. Dude, I never heard the word fortnight unless I was watching like maybe an old Laurence Olivier movie.
Or the game.
And I'm weird. I like that stuff. But
I've got a question for you, Dave.
Okay.
He's Texas.
Do you classify as a Mexican citizen?
Do I classify as a Mexican citizen?
Yeah.
I'd like to think yes, but I'll have to tell you no.
Do you eat tacos?
Do I eat tacos?
What?
No, I made tacos for dinner the other night.
He's Mexican.
Do you remember? Do you remember when Texas was
next
part?
Question, do I remember the Alamo?
No.
I don't even know what that is myself, Dave. So like I could. I think I don't even know the Holocaust either. So.
I was actually gonna ask you if you remember when Texas was part of Mexico.
Oh God.
Well, it depends on what part of Texas you're in. The further you go closer to the border, the more it begins to resemble what that northern area of Mexico really looks like, and really is, and what the people are really like. So that by the time you get down south and cross the border, it's you're in another country, but you've kind of already experienced some of the culture, so it's not so shocking. Having crossed the border a few times myself.
I've never been over the border, and I don't plan to.
That wasn't exactly what I was trying to ask.
I don't think I can get over a border. So I don't really have borders here in Australia.
Yeah, you're sort of in a borderless place.
Well, that's the thing. Like, because I was going to go up to Queensland with my now former girlfriend, and I'm just thinking about like they do. I'm thinking in the US, because I know they do checks like for fruit and that in your car, and apparently they don't do that here. I'm like, gee, I could just drive straight through. We just get an e-tag. So we have toll. Apparently we have toll booths, but we got to pay. But we just get like an e-tag. You like pays for it or something, and just get an e-tag and you can drive up there and it's no issue. Oh shit.
Well, part of what my daughter does is she works for she does a small piece delivery for a freight company, and she's got one, two. I'm thinking of how many. She's got 2 e-toll stickers on her front windshield. One for Tarrant County and one for Dallas County. And she has to pay for each of them every month. And that's so, you know, you can do that as you're driving through the toll gate. The reader, whatever it is up above, hits the sticker, reads it, and it deducts that money out of the account you've set up with them. She explained all this to me.
Sounds like rocket science to me.
It's too much like rocket science. And speaking of rockets and science, I'm going to have to science my little rocket ass out of here. They're going to be here in a couple of minutes. Dude, it was good to talk to you, Luke. You savage bastard.
I try.
I know you do. I love you guys.
Love you too, Dave.
Not as much as we love you.
And thanks for letting me jump on, man.
No worries. More than welcome.
All right. Later.
So make sure you listen to WNC on WNC Network on their channel on Mixlr. Check them out, or we'll send Luke Birch over there to rape you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Also, I guess we could give it with the plug. So you're next, Luke Birch.
There's TCP right here on Mixlr every Tuesday night at 10:15 Eastern, 9:15 Central. I try and get it up on YouTube within 24 hours after the show, but sometimes that's not possible. And I would like to speak to you about BitChute.
BitChute, yeah, just uploading and shit. I can say that. I can tell you about it now. BitChute is pretty much just like YouTube, except there's no monetizing.
Okay.
And there's no bullshit.
Thanks for that.
It's old school. Like, it's pretty much old school YouTube, just without monetization. If they change it now, I don't know. They'll be pretty cool. There's pretty much they're pretty much political. So they're very political things on there. I tend not to be political. I try to be a bit more comedic based, but
so it's not that the company is political as much as they have a lot of political commentators on there.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people that will comment, oh, the evils of Trump, or how great Trump is. We should build the wall. Let's not build the wall. Like, there's pretty much a mixture on there. Obviously, I don't give a fuck, because it's not my problem. Anyway, so check out TCP. Inhuman, are they still going?
I'm guessing not, based off the tweet they sent out a couple of weeks ago.
So I'm guessing Bobby Anthem's done with podcasts at the moment.
Sounds like it, unfortunately.
But shout out to those guys anyway.
I hope he's well.
Yeah, we did kind of piss him off. but get back soon, Bobby Anthem. We miss you. We love you. We miss Jerry. We're desperate without Jerry.
Even though I have a feeling that probably contributed largely to him leaving.
No. I'll say it here. Well, everyone started getting infighting between shows.
Yes.
And
yes, tell me about it.
Everybody, including me. I'm not gonna say I was not innocent. Like, if I do something, I'll admit to it. Like, I'm not going to shy away from it. Like, everyone got into infighting. It's, and I understand his point of view. Well, he's listening to this show. He's friends with everybody. I understand that.
I do still see him in most chat rooms, so...
He is in most of the chat rooms. He'll probably go back listening to a lot of these shows. Like, he's a fan of these shows, true and true. And I just want to say, Bobby Anthony, we hope to see you back soon. I was.
We love you, pal.
Yeah, I did start listening to Inhuman Experience. Those guys have something with that show, and I wish they'd do it more. And Blades has gotten way better than when I heard him last.
Mm-hmm.
10 times better from a year ago. Like don't let those talents go. You can come on here if you guys want to. Like I'm not going to be against it. Like I love having those guys on the show any day. Like hit me up. Definitely free to do it. But anyway, go to Twitter at the Sky Genie Show. I don't really have know of anything more to plug. Check out Wrestling Soup. Check out WNC. Check out Get in the Corner. Check out TCP. Check out I don't know.
It's Pathetic, which got on right, Brett.
Yeah, check them out. Check out Massive Erection. I don't know if that's a show, but we could go with that. Wookie. I don't know if Catbull's still doing the show anymore.
I haven't seen him in about 6 months, yeah.
6 months is a long time, and everybody is just either dropped off or they just don't speak anymore. Suplex City Limits, check them out. THT Podcast. Yeah, check them out. Thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you next time.